to the Flour and Sugar Farm YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making oatmeal raisin cookies. And while I'm doing that, I just wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys a little bit about what Flour and Sugar Farm is all about. First, let's add our butter here. So Flour and Sugar Farm is something my mom and I came up with a while back. The original plan was I was gonna own a flower farm and sell bouquets of flowers, and my mom was gonna sell baked goods at this farm. And then she also loves flowers, and I obviously also love baking, so it was gonna be something we did together and helped each other out with a lot. And that eventually got put on hold, but the idea kind of stayed in the back of our minds. And eventually, I was starting to get back into baking again. And we kind of just like, that's a really cute name. We'd still really love to do something with it. And so then I took the Flour and Sugar Farm name. And someday if she wants to join me, she totally can. But for now, Flour and Sugar Farm is me, Annabelle, with the support of my mom. And what I'm trying to do is share the things, the cookies that I make with the world. I mostly make cookies. I make a couple other things sometimes too, but mostly cookies because they bring me joy, and I think they bring other people joy. And I really, really love sharing my cookies with people. But also getting a little bit of extra money along with that would be great because butter's expensive, flour's expensive. All this stuff takes time and money. So I was like, let's start selling some things. Now that our butter's all combined with our sugars, we're going to add our eggs. Okay, so off camera, I cleaned up a little bit, and then I also added the vanilla in with the Now we're going to set this to the side for a second, and we're going to get out another bowl and our dry ingredients. I know there's a fancy French word for like prepping all your ingredients like this, and I don't really remember what it is or how to pronounce it, so just look up fancy French word for prepping all your ingredients so you can find out what it is if you want to. But I find that it is super helpful. It was something I never wanted to do because I thought it was going to be faster to just go through all my ingredients and scoop them out one at a time. But actually, it's way faster to pre-portion everything and then just be able to throw it all in. So, hot tip, if you are just scooping your ingredients from the containers that they're in with the measuring cups, highly recommend getting some bowls out. They don't have to all be matching. They don't have to be fancy like these ones. We just happen to have these. Scoop them out in the portions that you're going to need according to your recipe. It'll go a lot faster. The only things I don't really put in the bowls are like things I'm going to need half a teaspoon of or a tablespoon of. But other than that, pretty much everything goes in the bowls now. Scoop some salt out. I didn't pre-prep my salt because I wanted to use the other side of this little teaspoon. So it's kind of hard to prep two things in the same teaspoon. But this is another thing I really like is the double-sided measuring things because it makes it a lot easier. I have less dishes. Less dishes is key. Check, 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 check. Okay, now we're going to get out our rubber spatula and just mix these bad boys together. The raisins will come in a minute, don't worry. Okay, now we're going going to bring our wet mixture back over kinda, and we're going to slowly add a little bit in at a time. That's actually more than a little bit, but it'll probably be fine. We got one of these little attachment thingies for our KitchenAid mixer. And it definitely helps it not go everywhere. Sometimes the little chute on the side, you're supposed to pour stuff in there. Sometimes it does fly out of there a little bit, but for the most part, it keeps it in one spot. This bowl's too big. See, I just made a mess. This bowl's too big to pour in the little chute. And the whole point of the chute is to avoid a mess, and I just spilled all over my counter because my bowl's too big. Okay. It's fine. It will clean up. I just don't like cleaning things that much. Oh! That was too fast, but it will still get the job done. This is why Flour and Sugar Farm was almost called Chaos Kitchens. Okay, it's finally time to add our raisins. Pour those in there. Make sure they all get out. Mix those. Okay, now we're going to go over here and get our pre-prepped cookie sheet. And then we're going to get our cookie scoop. And we are going to scoop all of this goodness. Not all at once, but we're going to scoop it. I like to kind of make the edges look a little more rounded. And just plop them on the cookie sheet. And then once they're ready, we're going to put them in the oven. And now I am going to do a little bit of cleanup of the dishes and all the flour stuff I spilled while those are cooking. So our cookies are ready to come out of the oven, so let's get them. They look very nice. And they've got to cool down for 5 to 10 minutes before we put them on a wire rack to finish cooling. But they look so good. I am starting to learn to follow the principle of if your cookies are not underbaked, they're overbaked because of the cooking that they will still do on the pan. And nowhere is this more true than oatmeal raisin cookies. I have definitely burned some because I was afraid they weren't getting cooked enough. But I'm learning, and that's what matters. Okay, I'm gonna try and make some mini cookies now because the cookies that I used the first cookie scoop for, they're too big to try that hack where if you take the circle cookie cutter and when they're fresh out of the oven and you shape them, I want to try to do that. But my one cookie scoop, the cookies are too big for that. So we're gonna make some mini little ones now. Okay, here we go with our cookie cutter hack. Let's see if it works. I think that's gonna be perfect. Before we finish up today, I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope you find me funny because I think I'm funny, and I like it when other people think I'm funny. And I hope you got something out of this, maybe a new tip. And maybe you were just here for a good time. But whatever it was, I hope you got something good out of it. And I hope you have an enjoyable rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.